Well, good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to this week's edition of Sunday Nightcap Recap. I trust and pray that you'll be joining me soon. I'm going to give people a few moments to connect with us tonight. We're coming on just a few minutes later than we typically plan to come on, but we're here tonight again, nevertheless. As you come on, if you would be so kind to type a comment in the chat box to let me know that you are with us tonight. Give me a shout out, a greeting. I'm a little bit concerned with my connection here with my production studio. Looks like I'm having a few glitches here. Um, Hopefully it'll hold up. Joyce Lee, once again, you're the first one on tonight. Thank you for letting me know that you connected with us. We're just going to wait for others to jump on here with us. Lenny, God bless you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much. Y'all know this is a time I only spend about 10 to 15 minutes on here on Sunday nights. And let me encourage you once again to text a friend, text a neighbor, text a family member, text a coworker, text a church friend, someone that may attend another church other than Canaan Worship Center who likely wasn't in worship on today. God bless you, Dana Terry. I hope I'm saying that right. Dorothy Shelby, good evening to you. This, once again, is dealing with our series, Focus on the Family. And there are people who are members of other congregations, not necessarily members of Canaan Worship Center, who I believe can benefit from these messages that we've been sharing over the past few weeks. I've been emphasizing how the family is under serious attack nowadays, and we need all the wisdom and the knowledge that we can get, all the inspiration and revelation that we can receive from God on how to protect our families from the onslaughts of the attacks of the enemy. Again, we're just going to give some people a little bit more time to jump on here with us tonight. Good evening, lady, and my girl, she's on here with us. Rika, I hope I'm saying that right. Yeah, listen, y'all, if I pronounce your names wrong, please forgive me. I'm not doing that intentionally. Some of you got to admit, you got some very, very unique names and some unique spellings, but I'm doing the best that I can with the pronouncements. I'm not liking this blinking that's going on, but hopefully we can work through it. Denise, thank you for joining us tonight. Tisha Hillman, God bless you. Maddie H., you've connected with us tonight. Let me say good evening to you. If you are, and I believe you all are the people who have your notifications turned on, but if you don't, please make sure that you've got your notifications turned on so that you can be notified each and every time we go live. I don't want to wait too much longer. I'm going to give it about another minute for people to jump on here with us. Again, I've requested that if you're on with us tonight, let me know you're on with me by giving me a shout out. That's Tisha, I see you. Hey, what's going on? Give me a shout out in the chat box. Place a comment up in there. Just say, hey, Bishop, or whatever. Let me know you're here. All right. And again, we are not going to be on here very long. Well, as I said just a few moments ago, we're still focusing on the family. And today's message focused primarily on how valuable children are in the family and how children should be valued. Let me say good evening to all of the rest of you that are coming on right now. Barbara, Brenda, Rose, God bless you again. Thank you for joining us. Children should be valued. It is really important that parents know and appreciate the value of their children. And I'm not saying this just to be filling up space and saying something. But I truly believe that children must be valued in the family. And I think they should be valued to a much greater degree than they sometimes are. Sometimes we have a tendency to be somewhat dismissive of children and their feelings, their concerns. I think sometimes we fail to talk to children the way we really should talk to them, engage them in conversation. The only way we'll know what's going through the minds of our children is that we must be attentive enough to our children to take the time to sit down and talk with our children. I really believe that one of the practices that we definitely need to reinstitute is actually having family time during dinner time, where we all sit around the same table and we literally put our phones down or put them away and have conversation with regards to what's going on in the lives of the family members all together. That'd be a good time to sit and ask each other how their day was, especially as it pertains to our children when they're in school. I know they just ended school year recently. Most all of our children are out of school by now. But during the school year, they should be asked how their day was. Well, when school is out, they still should be asked how their day was. What did they do? What did they engage in? Parents need to be interested in what's going on in the lives of their children. And I think sometimes we make the mistake of being very hesitant about inquiring with our children, thinking our children are going to feel as though we want to get into their business. Well, I believe that our children are important enough that we should every now and then take the risk of having them feel as though we're trying to invade their privacy. But when we're doing that, we should do so in a manner that they understand that we're not just prying, but we really care about them. We care about them enough to know or to enough to inquire about how they are feeling at any given time. We ought to care enough to inquire to see if they're having any internal struggles that we as parents can help them to navigate through. Our children ought to feel safe enough to be able to talk to us without the fear of being condemned about how they're feeling about any given thing that they may be going through. But I think sometimes we parents can be hesitant in inquiring like that for fear of they might hear something that they really don't want to hear. But let me ask you this. Wouldn't you rather hear something that you don't want to hear sooner rather than later, if it's going to be something wherein you can help your children to avoid making a critical mistake in life, the kind of mistake that could do them permanent damage or permanent harm? In this day and time, you got to know that if you're not inquiring, I guarantee you that somebody else is inquiring. And some people will try to get information out of our children for the sake of manipulating our children and bringing harm to our children for their own pleasures and indulgences. And we've got to be protective in that area. Children must feel valued, loved, and respected within the family unit. And that has to come from the top. First of all, the parents have to let their children know that they love them. And then it is incumbent upon parents to teach their children to love and respect one another. Yes, children need to be taught and told that they are loved. Don't ever leave children to assume anything. I mean, think about it. if you can spend as much time as you may spend criticizing them, telling them where they're wrong, the same breath that you use to tell them how wrong they are, how awful they are, how lazy they are, how irresponsible they are, you can use that same breath to tell them how wonderful they are, to tell them how much you love them, to tell them how much you believe in them, to encourage them rather than put them down. They have enough coming at them just by dealing with life itself. There's so much negative that our children are confronted with on a daily basis. And here's the reality. The reality is our children today are confronted by much more negativity than we could have ever imagined, because there are so many more avenues and outlets from which they can receive negative information that can adversely influence them. And you've got to be a parent. And let me say this, not just as parents, but as grandparents, we've got to be vigilant in watching for signs that would let us know that our children are being influenced in a negative way, that something is affecting or influencing our children that is absolutely not good or right. It's our job. It's our responsibility. God has given us that responsibility to do that, just that, to be protectors of our children. Y'all please forgive the glitches that's going on right now. I've been having some technical problems here lately. I see my good friend Pastor Maurice Williams just popped on. He asked me, "What's up?" You know it, man. Listen, Pastor. If you haven't been following us for the past few weeks, I've been teaching on the family. And since you looks like you just joined us, I'm teaching on what I taught on earlier today in the message, and we focused our message on developing children through divine instruction. And the basis and the foundation of our message was we need to value our children and let our children know that they are loved and valued. Parents should not make it a practice to speak negative over the children, but you should make it a practice to speak well of your children and speak positive things to your children. Don't be that don't be that parent, rather, that refers to their children as headaches or burdens, or refer to them as though they're some type of hindrance to your career aspirations. No, they are a heritage from the Lord. They are to be treasured. They are to be valued as precious stones. They should be appreciated because children are our posterity. They are our future. They are our legacy. Now, let me be real honest with you. And I need to bring up this point before I sign off tonight, that while it is important for parents to know the value and the worth of their children, it is equally important for children within the family unit. And what am I referring to here? Parents, and neither should children be used as strategic and just to get what we want, to strategize and to make it seem like one parent is more important than the other parent. We shouldn't use our children against one another, parents, especially if we're in disagreement or feuding or whatever the case may be. That's not what children are for. And sometimes parents can put children in an awful situation when one parent tries to pit the children against the other parent. That's not good. That's not in order. That's not godly. And when you're the parent who's perpetrating that kind of situation within your family, within your household, you're doing a great disservice and even a damaging disservice to your children and to the family unit as a whole. Children have to know that they have a certain place. They have to understand that within the family units, now again, I know I'm going to get in trouble with this, but this is just a reality. Children have no authority or rights other than those which are given to them by their parents. Can someone say amen to that? And that's not to say that children are insignificant. That's not what I'm saying. That's not to say that children should not be respected. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is the structure of the family and the freedoms that are afforded the children are established or should be established by the parents and not the other way around. Here's what we got to understand. As much as we love our children and as much as we would want them to be as happy as they could be, the reality is until they reach a certain age, they're not mature enough to make certain decisions. You know, you would be pressured into making certain decisions or acquiescing to what the children want based on them pouting or throwing a temper tantrum. You know, as parents, at times you have to be very firm. You have to be very consistent. You have to let your yeses be yeses and your noes be noes. Because sometimes children have no idea, they have no clue that even when you're saying no, when you're disciplining them, it's done because, or the decisions are made because of how much you love them. That's the honest goodness truth. Bottom line is this: love your children, value your children, let your children know that you love them, let them know that you care. Be attentive to your children. Be present for your children. While you want your children to respect you, don't be that parent wherein you are so harsh with your engagement with your children that they fear you more than they respect you. That's not healthy for them, and it's really not good for you, because what you'll wind up doing, you'll wound up raising a troubled child rather than a thriving child. Well, real quickly, again, thank all of you for joining us here tonight. Real quickly, if anyone has any questions they want to throw out at me real quick before I sign off, I'm going to give you a moment or two to type your question in the chat box. If you already had typed a question and I missed it because sometimes I can't read the comments fast enough, just type it in there again real quick before I sign off, because I don't want you to go away from this session tonight not having any questions that you may have answered tonight. If I can answer your question, I certainly want to do that for you right now and at this time. Now, I'm pausing because I understand that sometimes there's a delay between you typing in your comments and me receiving your comments. So I'm giving technology the time to process everything and make sure that I give it time to send me the message so I can accommodate you. Well, there's no questions popping up tonight. Thank you again for joining us. I hope it's been a blessing to you. And I look forward to sharing with you the next time as we engage in our Sunday nightcap recap. Until then, until the next time we come together as a body, as a family, as a people to study the Word of God, I want to say to you, God, good night and God bless.